Stop my freaking heart. That Megan Bain Penelope intro was everything. Yada. What's up, sickos? It's me, I'm Bex Bistet, and this is Don't Call Me Diva. I apologize, Julia, for that bunk. We only talk women's wrestling here, hence why I'm apologizing to the goddess of Julia Hart. Why? Why? Why do I? Because I love it. I run down the weekly matches of AEW and Ring of Honor. We learn about the wrestlers who face them as well. I discuss lore. I make up lore. We fantasy book. We waffle off on tangents. Come back around, make up songs, and that's the Don't Call Me Diva promise, sickos. It's episode 13 of the show. 13 is one of my favorite numbers ever. I don't have superstitions. If you need more info on me and why we are here, please go check out episode 1. So, Haere mai, sit down and get comfortable while I take you on a journey through the amazing world of women's wrestling. How you doing, guys? I would like to start off this episode just with a quick little I was gonna say shout out, but how fucking social media fucking like is that? JR, the lovely JR, I'm mentioning him because I think like more than we know. I've just gotten like this vibe from what people have said and just from like my own eyes and ears and what I've read and everything. I feel like JR behind the scenes has been an advocator for good women's wrestling for a lot fucking longer than what we realize. And anyone who's like, been paying attention as well, surely can see those little tidbits there. But he has to go into surgery for colon cancer, which sucks fucking balls. So we hope he gets through that okay. Also, it's another horrendous health news. Our wonderful Thunder Rosa, her child is very ill as well in hospital with something that they're not quite too sure what it is. She calls upon, prayers if you do them, thoughts from everyone to like hopefully that gets resolved soon too. So man, that's a double whammy, and we hope they all are okay. Everyone is okay, all right? That is all in the news as far as I can think of. And I have just brought the mood right down, and I'm about to do something completely like flipped on its head. Are you ready, people? The boom, shake your boobs, dynamite. Fucking all over the place. It is spring break week, sickos. Double or Nothing is upon us, and AEW has been killing it, as is currently the tradition, if you've been paying attention. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I am incredibly happy that we started this show when we did. I really am. Everything leading up to the Hollywood ending, from Tony cracking in the Outcast to Mina Shirakawa and Timeless meeting in the ring for the four-way. To be honest, whew, this is going to be an opus of Timeless Tony Storm because she has many, many characters and many storylines I am sure are going to like be coming from even more like rivalries that she has, even when she's not the champion. So I'm just very excited that we get to talk about this now, like on this show. I'm very excited. We in Dynamite see Marina first, the dastardly Marina from the Death Riders. She is in a low-lit promo, standing strong, holding the briefcase, carrying the map to the Men's World Championship, wherever the frick that is, while Mox paces and taunts everyone behind her. It's a very cool image. No doubt we'll be seeing Marina and the other Death Riders in the main event cage match. I did see someone very funnily mentioning online, just taking us out of kayfabe will for a second, that the Death Riders have taken lease over the House of Black's old dark room. And that cracked me up because I like that kind of shit. It's like, well, they've moved out. So, someone, needs to take over. And now the Death Riders are doing their promos in there. Moving on. Alicia Ato. Is it Ato or Atot? Because Excalibur like really pronounced the T, and I was meant to check on that before it came out of my mouth. So I'm not quite too sure, but I'll look into that next time. She is backstage and looking super sweet in a dark blue halter neck dress, getting the goss from Top Flight. And speaking of pacing, there's a lot of pacing going on in the beginning of this fucking show. Dante is pacing like a madman behind his brother Darius and Layla Gray, favorite of the pod, Layla Gray. Layla has her arms crossed and she is not impressed by MJF's bollocks last week and has her teammates' backs in this fight against the Hurt Syndicate. Layla is looking absolutely amazing and a dark animal print off the shoulder little crop top here, which had fluid cuffs. It was gorgeous. Her black pants are accessorized with gold chains across the front and a delicate gold necklace is at her chest. At her necklace, at her chest. Layla emoted the fuck out of this promo. Whoa, that lady knows how to do it. She's going to be giving Mercedes Moné a run for her money. After in-ring shenanigans, we get the scoops from the remarkable, hey, look, it's our friend, the sparkly belt, Renee Paquette, who is a fabulous woman in all black fit with a mid-length shorts, accessorized with said belt, and a black pinstriped bustier-like top. Thank you, Penelope. I'm using that word a lot, which looks fabulous on her. Her hair is out in soft waves. Sorry, Julia. And her necklace looks like a thick chained charm bracelet, which is very cool. I can never stay mad at Renee. She's too damn charismatic. She can put a look together. She can cook, keep secrets, evade consequences. The woman is a damn icon. She asks the hard questions to which MJF obliges to answer, and we move on. Because the world has gone grey, but it's rainbows in our hearts. Because time for timeless Tony Stark. Jazz hands, jazz hands. Oh, jazz hands. Tonight, she does come out with Luther and considering Azumi and Mina Shirakawa are in this match, the potential fuckery from Mercedes Moné, it would be good for Timeless One to have some eyes and a stern point in her corner because there could be shenanigans during this match. Because remember, people, it's a four-way. And remember what happened last time, and last time's four-way. Dweesh. Our world champion is decked in a sheer black robe that swooshes and glides with her as she makes her way to the ring. Timeless is in a black bikini top, as seems to be tradition, and checkered battle pants, glorious and ready to fight. Azumi's music hits and her Titantron says Queen's Quest, and Queen's Quest is no longer. Why? And the whys couldn't Twitter have like gone all ranty about like that silly thing instead of like Mina's new music. By the way, Saya Kamatani ended Queen's Quest when she took over as leader after a whole bunch of like interweb tournament shenanigans. And she was like, fuck this shit. I'm like killing Queen's Quest because the other members of Queen's Quest went over here and did this thing. And then, she went and joined Hayden. That was like almost a year ago. So that fucking Titantron is Titantron? Yeah, Titantron is like, well old. She's in like Neo Genesis, I think the new name is called. So this is the first time we are talking about Azumi. So let's learn some things, shall we? Oh, here we go. Azumi is the current New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. Azumi joined Stardom Dojo in 2011 and was trained by Fuka. Fuka is is a veteran of the ring, but she's still quite young. She started. I've noticed a lot of like the earlier Joshi are I mean, it was a hard life for them. I mean, still hard, but anyway, I'm like floating around. A lot of them did like retire at like 25 or something, and then they go on to coach. So Fuka retired at around 25, and now she's coaching. Azumi made her pro wrestling debut at 11. So she's like a Riho over here, in a 2013 exhibition match at Stardom Season 14, Goddesses and Stars, that went to a time limit draw against very well established Joshi Natsuki Taiyo. Azumi would face Maya for her first proper non-exhibition match almost a year later. It's quite common for like debuts to be more kind of like exhibition matches at first, which is a good idea, especially when they're young. In 2017, Azumi requested to join the now disbanded Queen's Quest and was granted by YOSH. Azumi then became Azumi, but spelt AZM. Azumi Hazuki and Io Shirai would win the Artist of Stardom Championship, making this Azumi's first title shot in Stardom. Pretty young on that too. I mean, she's very, very good, as you know. As of 2024, after the end of Queen's Quest, Azumi joined the stable Neo Genesis. Neo Genesis. Yeah. And is the Artist of Stardom champion again. This, by the way, is the six-man tag team championships that Stardom have. She is champion with Neo Genesis's co-teammates, Starlight Kid and Miyu Amazaki. Now, Starlight Kid is someone that we are going to definitely be talking about, in the future one day, because that woman has been wrestling for way longer than I even thought she had. It is redonkulous how long she is still active, and she started like Jiminy Crickets. We're going to be getting that. She's had some tough matches. Tough as in like, wow, amazing matches. Azumi's finishing moves are the Azumi Sushi, which is a grounded cross arm breaker twisted into a kawaii. Amethyst Storm, which is a springboard tornado single arm DDT. It looks really, she's so fast. Oh, the La Mystica. A tilt-a-whirl head scissors transitioned into a single arm DDT, transitioned again into a Fujiwara armbar. Woohoo! The numero uno is a seated double leg Nelson scissored Nelson? Yeah, Nelson scissored armbar. Very. Azumi walks out full of that Joshi star power from the back. Her battle gear is purple and fluoro green. She is wearing a clear plastic battle jacket with a glowing green tubes around the arms, perfectly accessorized by these cute little green ears and her newly won New Japan Strong Women's Championship belt. So far, no one's seen TB as champion. The new beats of Mina Shirakawa's music hits, and unfortunately, it will be the last time that it hits because, as I said earlier, the fans who hated it instantly went to Twitter to complain, and by the end of the match, it was back to the original song. The world champion was digging it. So was I. Why can't we just give something a moment to digest, please, people? Just let it sit with you for like a moment. Just a moment. It had like this whole like new like was it like Mina now thing into it, which she's trying to get over and yeah, fuckers. But anyway. Anyway, moving on. For well, actually, I'm not moving on. I am disappointed. It had choreography. That's the word. A catchy beat, and I at first was like, huh, it was a bit weird, but then I totally dug it. And when I watched Mina selling the fook out of it with her performance, I was like, wow. But that's all right. Now, only if the massive power could do their thing for good, then we'd all be in a much more better situation. But never mind. Never mind. I will say that when her old music like came on at the end, I was like, oh, cool. We have like the new music at the beginning of the match. She comes out and like, makes her little presentation and is like, Mina now, and all that kind of stuff. And then the end, when she wins, you get like the celebratory upbeat of like beat, 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 because that's like more of like a celebratory thing, whereas her other one kind of starts off with like, win and we get into like a little like low beat thing, and yeah. Oh well, moving on. Mina is wearing her sweet fucking ass purple ruffled all material battle jacket, which is so Japan. I freaking love it. There is no way in hell I can describe this to you without twisting your brain with like mental imagery. So I am not even going to try. I can hardly even get that sentence out. The whole match, Mina's battle gear was giving me Asuka when she was Kana vibes. It was the G-string yellow combo and her attitude in the ring, which I think was giving me the kind of Asuka-ish vibes. From the hip shaking bop of the Joshis, we now go straight into groove metal pairing of Mikey Ruckus and the Butcher Babies, who I've never heard before, signaling that Sky Blue is back. Yeah, welcome back, Sky Blue. You gorgeous little woman, you. Very excited about that. Sky Blue has been out with injury for 10 months. I remember watching the match she hurt herself in with the bump, and oh, if I remember it correctly, and it looked rough. We talked about Sky Blue back in episode 1, so please go and check that out. Sky Blue comes out in all blue lighting, wearing this gorgeous, like long black cape that swishes around her beautifully. And she takes her place at center stage, a gorgeous blue crystal clown. Clown? She doesn't have a clown on her head. A gorgeous blue crystal crown just sparkles in the lights, and she has this blue and black strappy battle gear, and it just completes her look perfectly. Her hair is long and looks amazing. I admire anyone who can wrestle with all that freaking hair, because like I just get a sensory overload if like one thing is like here. Imagine like all of this. Oh my God. There'd be no working with me. The match doesn't take long to start as soon as all the wrestlers are in the ring. Just to remind everyone, this is a four-way eliminator match where the winner faces Tony Storm for her title. If Tony wins the match again, then she faces herself in her own time, not in private. A four-way means some loosey-goosey rules do apply. There are no DQs, but there are rope breaks. Instantly, Mina runs at Azumi and starts laying in the forearms. Tony kicks into action and she welcomes Sky Blue to the ring by escorting her to the outside of it first. Those two engage in outside fisticuffs and shenanigans, whilst the Joshi give us an injection of what they bring to wrestling right to our eyeballs. Both are insanely quick as they run the ropes and counter each other's attempts to take the other one down. A cheeky roll up from Azumi while Mina was going for the figure four starts off a flurry of pins into counters into pins, ending when Mina decides to change things up a little bit with a sliding knee into a titty shake. Azumi takes advantage and rolls her up for the pin, which Mina counters, but Azumi kicks out at two with that. Mina ends up pulling Azumi's legs out from under her, and she pulls Azumi out of the ring to the floor and gives her a spinning DDT. In the background, we can see that Sky Blue is slapping the world champion around a bit. The champion rolls herself into the ring and Sky Blue quickly follows. Blue should have taken a moment to assess the situation though first, because it was a ruse to lure her in and get the upper hand on Sky with some heavy blows when she enters the ring. Timeless gives Blue some spicy chops to the chest, but Sky gets the world champion down after she is sent to the ropes, sprints back and takes Tony Storm off her feet with a tijeras. Sky Blue gets the champion again with a rising knee strike and follows it up with a spinning DDT of her own. She went for the added damage bonus from the middle ropes, but that middle rope went into business for itself. But the momentum of Sky already had built up, filled in the rotation, and she ended up landing the DDT. The world champion rolls quickly out of the ring. As Sky Blue goes to follow, Azumi is up and yoinks her by the tights, and the two wrestlers engage in a violent dance of kicks and heavy forearms. When neither can get the upper hand, they take a split second to challenge one another, and both go to the ropes for momentum. But as they get there, their feet get pulled out from underneath them by Mina and Storm. Mina and the Timeless One get in the ring and come face to face each other for the first time as opponents. They have tagged together with Mariah May in AEW and a couple of times in Stardom, actually. When Mina visited AEW last year, there was some shitty shit done to her by Mariah, and those two have been apart since. Tony and Mina have always seemed to have a good relationship with one another, and both have this fighting spirit. So this should be a good bit of wrestling. They actually formed quite the bond over in Japan with the two matches that they have. It was very sweet. Tony and Mina are all smiles. Tony gestures to Mina in a way that I like to interpret as, I knew I'd seen you somewhere before. But before they can get past the pleasantries, Azumi and Blue get in the ring and take advantage of the distracted wrestlers, which gets mild boos, and I get it, but just hold your horses, crowd. Oh, where are we, Beach Break? We're at Chicago, of course. Well, then continue being you, then, I guess. The Chicago crowd has a mind of its own, and as a collective is very smarky. No diss, just an observation. Blue takes on Timeless, and Azumi grabs Shirakawa. After a mirrored run to the ropes, both Timeless and Mina turn the tables with a double Thez Perez and beatdowns. While this happens, a sneaky little red spider crawls down the screen. Go listen and watch to episode 12 if you want to know more about the toxic spider. Because where else are you going to get the goss but here? Nowhere. There is only one. Don't call me Diva. Both women bask in the applause of the crowd as Blue and Azumi roll out of the ring. The two wrestlers butt bump into each other and have quite the pardon me, until Mina gives Tony a forearm of friendship to the face and the fight is on. I love how when Mina goes to embrace someone for a hug, she goes tit first. I really get a real Asuka and Eddie Guerrero had a baby, and it's now Mina Shirakawa vibe. That is now our law. Okay? Okay. I don't care if the H's don't make sense. We're going with this. We talked all about Mina and Joshi wrestling in episode 12 as well of Don't Call Me Diva. And also, if you would like to know the origins of our name, Don't Call Me Diva, go to episode 1. I touched on this last episode, but I would just like to confirm for everyone new out there, with all of our episodes are free range episodes and live happily in the fields with access to shade, warmth, and 3 meals a day, depending on their dietary needs. You can access them in playlist form on wherever you are consuming Don't Call Me Diva. Just know that they are well taken care of. Mina and Tony are exchanging heavy forearms into each other's jaw and neck area until Mina gets the world champion with a square hit to the jaw. Luther is pounding on the ring to keep Timeless in the present, and the crowd join in with claps. Mina has the champion on the rope, and the beat pleases Mina. Shirakawa lets the beat take control of her body as she hip thrusts with joy. Timeless ends up reversing Mina's whip just as Azumi comes back into the ring, and Mina gets slingshotted into a kick from Azumi. Azumi and Tony Storm try to double team on Mina without her consent, to which she replies, rude, and turns it on them, giving the world champion a kick to the womb. And Azumi gets a back elbow to the mouth. Mina jumps at Tony for a wheelbarrow takeover thing, or a cazadora if you want to get technical. And now Timeless finds herself in a sticky situation as Mina puts her in a figure 4 leg lock. Mina is charisma personified, and she gives some Shirakawa flair to her figure 4. Azumi tries to take advantage of a seemingly distracted Mina, but instead gets yoinked in a front headlock and gets slammed down face first into the mat by a DDT. This worked out beautifully for Mina because this added more power to the figure 4 and she still had on the Timeless One. The world champion screams out in pain, and Azumi is gone, nowhere to be seen at all. all. Now, one problem for Mina does become obvious as Tony Storm powers her way to the ropes and breaks the submission. Mina was unable to stop Tony from reaching those ropes at all. And that could become a problem in future matches. Mina might have to find a way to lock the arms as well or something, because if she doesn't, Tony Storm's just going to use her power to drag her to the ropes for the break, essentially. Mina respects the rope break and she loosens the hold. Storm is like, fuck this noise, and gets out of the ring, lickety split. Mina is now queen of the ring, which I still haven't seen yet. God damn it. Don't worry, I will. Azumi attempts to take Mina out, but the crowd are chanting, "We want Mina!" And she quickly turns it onto Azumi with a spitting kick to the gut. Mina takes out Azumi with her. Takes Azumi with her. Bleh, to the ropes and gazelles up them with the grace of a fox, and then body splashes down onto the timeless one who was getting her stamina back from that figure four. Not anymore. Shirakawa is up, but the timeless one stays on the ground. Azumi has come through the ropes and is now on the forever unsafe apron. Mina's head, well, I'm not too sure if it's as unsafe. It's got to be as unsafe in Stardom. What am I freaking talking about? Mina's head gets kicked clean off by Azumi. Beat the microphone. And then our world champion gets splashed on again, this time by Azumi, just as she is finally getting back to her feet. Azumi springs up to the apron and takes just a moment to celebrate, but it is a moment too long as Sky Blue has come into the ring, remember her, and cracks her with a kick. All three, Tony, Mina, and Azumi, are spooked on the outside and find themselves huddled together in a very dangerous grouping formation. Sky Blue thinks this is a brilliant time to take them all out, and she would be right. The crowd gets to their feet as Sky Blue launches herself into the air and splashes down onto all of them, releasing out a battle cry. She assesses the carnage and thinks about who she will target next. The world champion has her face slammed into the ring. Mina gets sent crashing into the barricade. Azumi gets sent into the other. So far, no outside shenanigans while we're out there. I mean, from other people. Don't bring outside shenanigans, but these are allowed by the people involved. I expected, honestly, dastardly deeds from Mercedes Moné, because I have this running law, as you all know, that when she loses a belt/boat, she also loses a bit of her mind too. And in general, the CEO has quite the temper. So considering the wrestler who got pinned is now the one who has the New Japan Strong Women's Championship in this match, I expected her to mess with their title chance somehow. It just kind of seems very Monet, even though she is facing Tony for her title, her opinion, not mine. This is what she thinks. I still don't think the CEO would take out Timeless in a dastardly way. I don't think she wants to wrestle like the Tony that Mariah got at the end there, right? She doesn't want to push that button. But I am surprised that she's not at least getting her revenge on Azumi and Mina in this moment. But we've still got plenty of matches to go, I guess. I just expected it sooner. Look at me, expecting things like I know anything. Sky goes straight to the world champion, but is given a swift kick and then sent to the barricades with a slop tart for good measure. The ref is rudely counting them out, but Mina grabs the champ and whips her into the barricade to join Sky. Fuck this count. Azumi likes this idea and sends Mina into the barricade with authority. Azumi takes a moment to battle cry at the crowd, and as she soaks up their applause, Sky Blue takes this perfect opportunity to whip Azumi into the barricade with force. Sky Blue sends Azumi then into the ring and goes for Mina. But Mina doesn't want to go into the ring right now and instead turns it on Blue, who she sends slamming into the barricade. Now it's her turn. The world champion has just about enough of this whole slamming each other into the barricades business and marches straight up to Mina. Mina She marches straight up the Mina. We have a Mina. No, we're not going to go there. Mina and pins her to the barricade and gives her a chop so vicious that Mina instantly cries out in pain, thinking, I should have just gone into the ring with Blue. And even the doc ringside winces at that chop. Oh, sidebar. I was watching, I don't know, old wobbly wrestling like a couple of days ago. And AEW Doc was there. He like appeared. I was like, hey, where's Wally? I know you. So yeah, he was ringside Doc in the wobbly for a little while back in the day. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Mina's chest truly is top tier because Tony got some self-inflicted pain from that chop also. She was like shaking her hand around like whoo, blowing on that thing. Excuse me. Mina sucks it up and turns it on to Tony Storm, who has the sense to attempt to bargain herself out of what was to come. But Mina wasn't in the mood for mercy, and she gives the world champion a chop receipt that angers Luther and crumbles the world champion. Just a thought, but Mina wins the championship. Mariah comes back and is like, "What are you doing with my title, girlfriend?" Fun. Mina gives us a celebratory running shimmy, and Luther wags his finger at her intently, doing his job. Azumi, being thrown into the ring, has broken the ref's count. And while Tony and Mina were chopping each other back to life, Azumi and Blue were engaging in combat. Mina and the Timeless Ones continued laying into each other on the outside while Sky Blue is dealing some damage to Azumi, sending her back and forth into the corners with force multiple times. Blue nails Azumi with a cartwheel into a forearm at the same time. Timeless has managed to break away from Shirakawa and she is rolling into the ring. You can see behind her. Sky Blue inadvertently starts a German suplex party. German suplex party when she gets Azumi over for a nice one that sends Azumi out to the apron. Timeless thinks, I'll have me some of that, and put Sky Blue through a lovely German suplex. Admiring her work, Timeless gets yoinked and whacked in the face by Mina Shirakawa, and she puts Storm through a German suplex. Azumi is back in the ring and is looking for a German suplex revenge, and she races at Mina and sends her flying in a vertical suplex. Sky Blue, the original suplexer of the suplex party, gets another one on Azumi. This angers the world champion, who quickly scolds Blue and sends her over for another German suplex. Mina yells at Tony from across the ring and yoinks her for a suplex, which she does, but not before a little grimy gyration power-up. This is power-upping for the Joshi. This did not seem to help Mina, though. After that suplex from Azumi quickly boots Mina and sends her crashing into the mat via a vertical suplex because Azumi is different. And that, my friends, will signify the end of this superplex party. Mina and Timeless, not wanting the party to end though, try to suplex each other but keep countering and forming this fleshy little seesaw. Not wanting to be a fleshy seesaw, Mina digs in deep, lowers her hips a bit more, and wins the battle of the final suplex. All wrestlers are now down while Luther tries to whip up some power for the world champion from the crowd, who is stumbling but now on her feet. The four wrestlers are now all on their feet. Tony versus Blue, Mina versus Azumi, all exchanging stiff forearm shots. Blue changes it up and catches the world champion off guard with a knee to the face. Mina takes Azumi out with a spinning back fist, and now it's Shirakawa versus Sky. Sky Blue and Mina keep the slugfest going until Mina gets an opportunity and repeatedly forearms Sky in the jaw. All four wrestlers have recovered stamina and have the fire of fight within them as a beautiful dance of violence ensues. A favorite dance move, German suplex, comes back in the form of a release as Azumi and Timeless give synchronized release Germans to Blue and Mina. The world champion's quick thinking catches Azumi, and she too gets sent over the Timeless one's head with a release German suplex. Three wrestlers now lay crumbled in three corners of the ring with the Timeless world champion in the middle. We know what's coming. The announcers knows what's coming. The crowd knows what's coming, and so am I. As Timeless Tony Storm takes aim and sprints between Sky Blue and Mina Shirakawa, giving them hip attacks with the sweetest of musical cheeks, as Azumi just watches in awe. After giving Mina and Blue about like three hip attacks each, she turns her attention onto Azumi, who is like, ma'am, there is no way I am taking that, and dodges the incoming hip attack. Timeless now finds herself playing the role of Pinata as all three lay into her. Mina tries to grab the champ, but she rolls her ass out of there. Lickety split. Azumi tries a cheeky roll up on Mina, but Blue breaks up the pin just as quickly with a boot. Sky Blue sends Azumi out of the ring and turns her attention onto Mina, running straight at her. Blue tries, but Mina keeps dodging her attacks. Mina gets back into the ring over the ropes and gives Sky Blue a kick to the face. Mina needs some more boost power, and she battle cries to the crowd to provide her some. Mina goes for the glamorous driver on Blue, but is stopped by a devastating drop kick from Storm. Timeless quickly turns to take on the incoming Azumi, and she manages to duck Azumi's wild swings and takes her over with a back suplex. Sky Blue goes sky high and with a choke bomb from the world champion, and the world champion gets sent over the top rope to the apron by Mina. The champion slumps down, then to the floor. Mina Shirakawa and Sky Blue are alone in the ring. Blue is still a bit dazed and gets treated like a kickbag from Mina. Sky Blue goes down, but she is not out. Mina goes to the ropes for momentum, but ends up running straight into Sky Blue's foot. Sky Blue goes to the ropes herself for momentum and attempts to take Mina out with a code Blue. But Mina has a good counter for the strong finishing move, and Blue instead just gets her with a roll-up, a much easier move to kick out of from comparison. It turned out to be quite the beneficial thing because Mina kicking out the pin gave Blue a chance to avoid the incoming diving stomp from Azumi. Sky adjusts her footing, then cracks Azumi in the face with a high kick. Sky Blue tries the code Blue again on Azumi, but Azumi buckles as soon as Blue makes contact and counters the finisher in her own creative little way. These Joshi have the code Blue definitely scouted. Azumi gets Sky Blue down for a pin with a lovely Canadian destroyer, which is a front flip pile driver. The pin is broken up by a flying, or in this case, I guess more appropriately described as a landing world champion. Azumi tries to take the champ out, but Timeless plants her head into the mat with a Storm Zero. She goes for the pin, but is denied by Mina. The Timeless one avoids one shot, but gets rocked with a rolling elbow from Shirakawa. The world champion still has her wits and rolls Mina up in her big package. Mina gets out of the pin with a tight package of herself. Ooh la la, a tight package herself. And if I'm honest with you, I think the champ was having way too much fun being motorboated by Mina to realize that she was even in a pin. And Mina gets the 3 and the win right then. Instantly, Mina's original music hits. I thought she was, like I said, I thought she was getting fancy outro music, but oh well, it's all good. As Mina celebrates her victory, Timeless is bewildered after being ripped suddenly from Mina's bosom and slapped back into reality. As the world starts to come back into focus, the world champion, Timeless Tony Storm, is pleased and seemingly thrilled about having a fight for the strap with Mina Shirakawa. Double or nothing, my fine sickos. We will be getting Mina Shirakawa versus the greatest women's champion of all time, Timeless Tony Storm, this weekend. Woo! I, for one, am very excited about the women's matches for Double or Nothing that have already been announced. And holy freaking shit, this was a no shenanigans match. completely free of shenanigans. Look at me. I don't know shit. Blue is on the floor, disappointed, but she gave it a good shot. And for her first match back, she shouldn't be that disappointed. Azumi needs help getting to the back, and Ref Aubrey has been very kind in helping her get there. Then, boom! Out of nowhere, out of the tunnel comes a flying Monet, looking all expensive in her sparkly outfit. She rams straight through Azumi, and Aubrey just dives to the left and was like, "Outie," but did come back quickly to try and yell some sort of sense into the CEO as Monet chokes Azumi on the floor with her statement maker while she screams, "Yes!" as an absolutely sane person would. But then she gets a stiff boot in the back of the head as Hader has come running out and is now beating the crap out of Mercedes. Hades puts Monet in her own statement maker and yells at her to tap while the ref continues to scream at the referees to try and get some sort of order. Hader gets Monet to her feet and winds up the haterade, but apparently this has gone too far as soon as a flock of security comes running out to break up the fight. Rude. I thought that was very rude. Security. Now you come out. So that was awesome. Didn't expect did I expect did I expect Minashita to win? Honestly, no. But then looking back on it, that's actually my misgivings, really. Why would I think such a amazing talent from Stardom would just be coming over and like losing, her first, I mean, this is just an eliminator match. That's pretty cool. This is like her, so she had the match in ROH and then she had this match. And her third match is going to be at Double or Nothing. Oh, no, wait, we've still got Dynamite Inclusion to come up. Very, very cool. But yeah, no shenanigans during the match, just after the match and at Azumi, which I thought was interesting. Totally thought she was going to be going for Mina since she would have more. Oh, maybe she's just like, I have more opportunity to get you, Mina. So, like, I'm just going to get Azumi now and then I'll get you later. But we'll find out. Next in our women's catch up, we have the remarkably off the hook Renee Paquette. And friend of the pod, the Sparkly Belt. She is here to get the scoops from MJF and MVP. Scoops achieved. We move on. Before we say goodbye, Saronara, Haidera to Dynamite, we have to do a quick stop by the main event cage match because, the problem is going to be there, briefcase in hand. But what I didn't expect was the ringside backup from Hero of the Locker Room, Moxley's greatest fear, Willow Nightingale herself. Willow comes racing out with a shirtless powerhouse Hobbs, and she brings with her a steel chair. Willow makes a beeline right for fucking Yuta, and the Death Riders back off, retreating around the ring. Of course, still all hiding behind Marina. Even Claudio knows it's better for his health to stand behind Marina Shafir. We have a pretty shenanigans-free cage match, though, for about another 10 minutes. Mox gets himself a lovely crimson mask, which must have felt really good for his paws because it has been a while. But as Moxley was passing out from Samoan Joseph's deadly coquina clutch, he motions to his crew and Claudio scampers up the cage. The hero of the locker room shows no fear and sprints around the ring and grabs Marina just as Claudio gets knocked off the cage, and he takes out both Marina and Willow as she crashes to the floor. A rascally kid with a double D gives Mox the advantage, and that's that for the match. Literally, all the shenanigans ensue after this match ends. Well, I guess the shenanigans start the match ending, and then it's just shenanigans all over them. EVPs come out, cages get lowered, ex-world champions get involved, with one of them flying off the top of the cage, getting everyone but Marina, who narrowly avoided getting smushed. Willow is still out on the floor from being sent into the barricade by Shafir and Claudio. Anarchy in the arena, Claudio, you're going to be getting yours. The night ends with the former world champion Skrt laying out a challenge of Anarchy in the Arena, including Shafir and Willow at Double or Nothing. making this the first intergender anarchy in the arena. Yosh! That is it. Are we ready? We're going to go to collision because I've decided to do it this way instead of like the Dynamite Ring of Honor collision way because I want to. We are still in Chicago, and I recognize the Titantron of the first wrestler out, but the music is different. Gone are the dun 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 ahs of the past. And I instantly don't give a fuck anymore because as soon as we focus on Penelope with the visuals behind her, I have forgotten all about it. This entrance is everything. It's a choreographed masterpiece. The camera angles, the fire, Penelope hitting every mark with her pose. It's autumn here, but I was snug and I had a kitty on my lap and everything, but this gave me chills. Fucking love wrestling. Megan has some new battle gear and new music in blue. Well, new music's not in blue. She's in blue. She is in blue with red with gorgeous gold detailing. Her headdress is dark red flowers with a gold little like headband here and huge white wings with blue tips. My girl Penelope is stunning in black butt kicking leather and lace pants, a black bustier, and she stomps to the ring. Question: does Maid Bank's new music have whips? I thought I heard whips, but I'm gonna need some sicko like confirmation on that. So if you hear whips, let me know. They complete the best entrance of the women's division, and we get the upbeat, get your butt to the dance floor. It's time to shake your fat booty. Anna Jay's music has just hit. Now we can call her a lady with a fat booty. This is Anna Jay law. Okay. So this is consensual fat bootying. And that comes out with the amazing Harley Cameron. And speaking of the multi-talented wonder from down under, I spied another puppet in one of Sky Blue's backstage shots on Instagram. No idea who this puppet was, but there was a puppet. Kind of looked a little bit like Jay, but I don't know. So Anna Jay also has new battle gear. It's animal print with shiny blue trim, and honestly, it doesn't sound good, but I swear it looks great on her with her coloring and everything. Cameron is rocking the all black rounders and a black mini skirt, thigh highs, and a black bustier. I mean, goodness gracious, these women. Woo! The women are looking stunning. They hate each other, though. All hate each other. Well, not all hate each other. The two teams hate each other. Anna Jay and Harley, rightfully so. Bane and Ford hate them just cause. But both are valid. And yes, Harley Cameron does seem to and is confirmed bite Anna's butt. I think it's perhaps for luck, or perhaps Harley just couldn't help herself. Either is valid. Anna better be careful though, or she'll wake up with a bite out of her butt and a ravenous Harley just like, "Hung." But maybe that's just how she, expresses her love. The bell rings and the two wrestlers circle each other. Anna's looking for an opening in the Megasis's armor, and the Megasis is looking for where she can hurt first. Minnie, Bexy, sidebar, in writing this, I have come to the conclusion that Mike break the bond of sicko with some, but in the war between Bane and Stat, at this very moment, I am on the side of Bane. Sorry, y'all. The fact that Bane and her are working so well together is definitely a way straight to my dark heart. You just know what you're doing. I am loving everything that they do, even when they are the cheekiest of little shits. They are a unit. They are one. I need a t-shirt of this pairing ASAP. Thank you very much. I also need a name for this fabulous duo. Thank you very much. And after last week's bollocks from Miss Statlander, she is still on the sus bus, hanging out with her bestie, Hologram. So I already have dented feelings towards our muscle honey. At this moment, this is not a firm, I would never, give money to the Bane, cause in the war or anything like that. I wouldn't support them monetarily, but slightly on a moral standing at the moment. Stat. You got some answering to do here, Missy. And Bane and Ford are just. Can you blame me? Hmm. But yeah, sidebar over. Bane sees her opening and runs at Jay, picking her up in a tackle, slamming her into the corner, and then repeatedly rams his shoulder into Jay. The ref is giving Bane the hard word, but Bane is in destruction mode, not listening mode. The ref, Aubrey, almost has to get physical between them, but Bane finally stops shoulder barging Anna Jay and instead drives the palm of her hand straight through Anna Jay with a sharp chop. Jay is given some space and she gets out of the corner. Anna gets an opening to land some forearms into Megan and she puts everything into them. It's scary though how much Bane does not move, and you can see the expression change on Jay, like when she's like very briefly, but she's like, oh shit, when she realizes that that ain't gonna work, and smartly changes up with short kicks to the front of Bane's leg and then like another to the side that brings the Megasis down to one knee. And then Jay continues this roll with a drop kick to a down Bane, and I reckon if she kept up this kicking game, Anna Jay would have a chance of really damaging Bane in a fun way, not in a malicious way. But Jane, sorry, fooks up big time when she tries to manipulate Bane with the upper body, and Megan just puts on the brakes. Bane sends Anna Jay into the corner and runs at her. Jay quickly gets the nope out of here and cracks Bane in the face with a swift high kick, followed by a fancy back kick on the incredibly risky apron area. Bane flexes her acting muscle and gets the ref's attention, complaining about like some onion doing in here. Penelope grabs Jay's ankles. Harley jumps on the apron on her side and starts yelling at the ref about the impending shenanigans on the other side of the ring. But in true ref style, she goes over to Harley instead, never once looking over at the other side of the ring, and informs Harley that she must get her toned butt off the apron and back onto the floor right now. Megan walks straight over to Jay and boots her in the face. Ford scampers up to the apron, takes just a moment to see where Anna has landed, and then flies backwards for a perfect standing moonsault and lands on her feet. A flick of the hair, and it's like nothing even happened. Harley quickly comes over to Anna to check on her, which is smart because that brings the ref over to where the shenanigans are going on. Bane comes out to the floor and grabs Anna Jay by the head. She motions to her right and rams Anna right into the barricade that protects ringside worker folk. Anna connects with Barry hard, and we get a satisfied battle pose from the Megasis while Penelope yells encouragement at Jay sarcastically. Bane is such a kind person, though. She can see that Jay is having difficulty getting to her feet and she gives her a hand. Bane slams Jay onto the apron and Anna rolls into the ring, putting the ropes between the two of them. Bane takes another moment to bask in her marvelous glory. Bane is arrogant and definitely the main character of her world, but she has never lied about that and pretended to be anything else, so you really can't be mad at the woman. But then she blows us a kiss, which is so sweet. And we get a wave and everything, and I was completely taken aback. I was like, to me? No, Carrie. Oh, anyway, we go back to the ring, and Bane presses hard on Anna's shoulders while staring intently down at the camera. Bane is just having fun now and playing around with everyone. Jay, of course, kicks out at 2. Bane picks Anna Jay up belly to belly and starts squeezing the life out of Jay. Anna can see Harley in front of her, and Cameron is screaming out as much encouragement as she can. Anna Jay starts elbowing the back of Bane's head, which is a brilliant strategy. We can see that Bane's expression changes to annoyance, and I don't think this is going to work, Anna. With the adjustment, and Megan Bane pulls off the most perfect cradle overhead belly to belly suplex in living existence right now. Like, I haven't watched, this was the last one I have seen, and until I see a better one, this is the best belly to belly cradle overhead suplex I have ever seen. The piece of footage should go into some sort of museum. I bullshit you not. We're just going to float out of kayfabe here for like 1 second. Props to Anna for the perfect form as well. Like, okay, back we go to kayfabe. The extension Megan Bang got through her whole body, right down to her tippy toes, was what's that thing, everyone? A thing of beauty. Oh, we also got the most perfect shot. Like, this is like one moment of like 2 seconds that will live happily in my head now for like ever. Thank you, AEW production folk, for the perfect cut of this. I mean, I hope someone's like clipped that and just made it like a gif of that beautiful fucking whoo. Oh, anyway, Megan gets a bit experimental with Anna's head on the apron. That sounds like a funky sentence. And ends up slamming her own back onto the apron instead with no Anna underneath her, which is very fortunate for Anna because if she had been there, she would have been 100% smushed. Both wrestlers face each other in the middle of the ring and start laying forearms into one another, both with aching backs right now, though. Megan has the upper hand with the strikes, but as soon as she went for a pump kick, the quickness of Anna Jay gets a kick as she twists Bane round and nails her in the face with a heel kick. Quick thinking there, Anna Jay. She jumps onto Bane's back and gives her a backbreaker. Bane stumbles into the corner and Anna rushes in with a back kick. Anna gives Bane space to move out of the corner and Megan yoinks Jay onto her shoulders in prime Fate's Descent positioning. Anna is like, hell no, and gives her a 1 and a 2 and a shot and a few more whacks to the head. And Bane gives up on this Fate's Descent idea and takes the Wrigley J over to the ropes and hangs her out onto the apron. The shoulder tackle from Bane misses, and it is in fact Bane that shall be hanging as Anna twists her around for a rope-assisted neck breaker. Bane gets super mad at this because she was going to be doing something, and she runs full steam at Anna, who ducks and pulls down the top rope. Megan Bane goes flying over the top and crashes down to the floor. Penelope is quick to go check on her battle partner and almost gets her on her feet until Anna Jay launches herself off the apron at them both with a flying crossbody that takes them both out instantly. Anna grabs Bane and rolls her into the ring quickly, which is very, very smart and tough of Anna, considering she just threw herself at two people. Anna gets up and bashes on the top turnbuckle for some crowd power-up bonus. And Chicago, where are you? Where is your fighting spirit? Anna Jay's fat ass just calls upon you, and just a of your immense selves gave anything back. Your points have been deducted for this, okay, Chicago? In writing this, I just gave myself the idea of awarding and or deducting points from crowds in future episodes, and if I can get myself around to running up some sort of criteria, this will definitely be a thing. But you're not looking good, Chicago. And I can tell you now, in present Bixie Day, or present Bixie moment, I have actually started that list in Chicago. Not looking good, buddies. Anna lines up a dazed Bane from the middle rope, dives forward, and drives Bane backwards with a blockbuster. Bane stays connected, though, and now Anna is in trouble. Bane brings her to her feet, lifts Anna upside down, lets out a battle cry for extra and then slams her back down into the mat with a beautiful falcon arrow. The crowd are like, ooh, you all suck, Chicago. You're spoiled rotten with excellent wrestling and you cannot even bother to collectively cheer. You should all be ashamed of yourselves except for the ones that did their best. We here at Don't Call Me Diva thank you for your service. But moving on. Bane goes for the pin, but Anna kicks out at 2. Bane goes for the full stop in this match, but Anna Jay counters the Fate's Descent by grabbing Megan's head in a front headlock on the way down and then turns it into a fabulous DDT. excellent counter energy. Well fucking scouted. Bane, better watch out for those women. They are going to be coming up with ways to successfully counter your fate's descent, honey. Anna goes for a pin, but the Megasis kicks out at two. Penelope is beside herself, and so is Harley. More than normal. In the ring, Megan Bain is still dazed, and Anna Jay jumps on her back, locking in her chokehold, the Queen Slayer, named after she choked out Mrs. Brandy Rhodes, if I remember correctly. Behind the ref's back, Penelope gets in the ring and scampers up to the ropes. What are you up to, Miss Ford? Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Is Miss okay. I got it now. Miss Ford is trying to rip off the turnbuckle, the top turnbuckle, with one double-handed grip. She rips it finally, and the turnbuckle pad goes woo out of her hand. Well, not almost out of hand, but almost out of hand. And even she takes a moment to celebrate her achievements and brute strength. All of this, and the ref doesn't even know. Harley grabs Ford by the ankles and pulls her out of the ring to the floor so she can congratulate Penelope on an excellent turnbuckle pad removal. Oh, okay, scrap that. She hits Penelope in the tit instead. Okay. Penelope whacks Cameron with turnbuckle, which is still in her hand, and the two just start brawling. Literally, Chicago, you're starting to piss me off now. Do you only know how to chant for like one thing as a collective? And if that boring sack of broken bones is what gets you excited, and then there's just no saving you. This match is banging. A story is being laid in front of you and glorious violence, and only a third of this whole venue is entertained? I refuse to believe that. Ugh, I hate to bitch, but live crowds are such a big part of wrestling. The third of you who are getting into it, you rock. And yes, I am being slightly bit of a Anna trips Megan face first into the exposed turnbuckle and stumbles to the mat. Anna Jay covers for the pin, but miraculously, the Megasis kicks out at two. I honestly thought that this was going to work in Anna Jay's advantage and actually get her the win, but Megasis is still up. Anna goes back in for the Queen Slayer, this time wrapping her legs around Bane's waist for extra squeeze. Bane goes into like insano level though and stands up from the mat with Anna Jay on her back, trying to choke her out. It is insanely impressive how this woman does this. Bane backs into the corner and slams Anna Jay back into the exposed bolt. What Bane does next was mind-blowing. New level of strength, control, confidence, and power. Such power from the Megasis. Megan Bane hoists Anna Jay up onto her shoulders in an electric chair position, walks to the center of the ring, twists Anna Jay around, and then slams her into the mat, onto her lower back. The ref thinks Bane is going for a pin, but she is not done. Using incredible strength that most people can only daydream of, Megan Bane deadlifts Anna Jay back up onto her shoulders, gets a steady stance. With ease, she just hoists Anna Jay into the Fate's Descent and then sends her plummeting to the mat. Bane crawls over to Anna Jay for the pin and gets the one and the two and the three. I go wild. The crowd goes mild, but they can go fuck themselves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chicago. I know. Don't be a dick and all. It must be a cultural thing. I just don't understand how cool it is being a Chicagoan person. Jokes, I swear. I'm done. I'm done. You're all just. Bane basks in her victory glory, and I get a look at her new battle gear, and it is so freaking cool. There are like more like intricate little like straps and buckles that are everywhere that I got. I absolutely love it. The craftsmanship is mwah! Whoever makes this stuff, like, they're a genius. And then we are out of here. Straight into the rundown of this evening's matches. I kind of honestly expected some sort of like after Bane match shenanigans, but we don't see any. We just go to like the matches, and there's no more women's matches on this card, which is rude. But you know, it's all good. Every now and then we can have a one, but you know, it's been not be a me. But I will be quickly doing just one teeny tiny little men's wrestling shout out to the trios match. It was ROH World Champion Bandito, Brody King, and Tomohiro Ishii. They all freaking rule, and they were fighting the Don Callis fam. So there was more to watch. It just wasn't women related. Moving on. The sweet and lovely Lexi Nair. Nixie Lear. I knew I was going to do that. Should I just call her that? No, don't call the woman by her name. Lexi Nair is here to interview and document the confrontation between the Paragon and the grizzled young vets. Lexi is looking fabulous in a grey and white casual little summer dress, and she keeps her cool whilst the menfolk threaten each other. After a pleasant Chicago street fight between Big Bill and Brian Keith versus the Gates of Agony, we cut to a pre-taped promo from Mina. She is speaking directly to Tony Storm. It is an impassioned speech from the challenger. Tony is timeless, but Mina is now. I'm so excited. I am surprised by this match so quickly, but fuck yes, it goes. It's going to be an epic romp, and I can't wait to watch it. Like, it actually is going to be a romp. Oh my god, I just sorry, my brain just like opened up a whole match in front of me, and it's like, whoa, focus here, woman. This being the first time they face each other, I wonder, like I said, if we will get a surprise guest ringside in the form of a gorgeous Mariah May. She could really mess up Tony or Mina, or just for fun, both of them. We shall see after the weekend. Very excited. At the last possible moment of Collision, Marina stalks out to the ring and locks onto Powerhouse's knee. You see, he has just defeated fucking Yuta, but the Sheriff of Rottingham has done some nasty damage to Hobbs's knee. Marina takes Powerhouse's knee out from under him with a stiff chopping lariat, and he goes down. Marina grabs Hobbs' damaged leg, and both of them start kicking and stomping on Hobbs. Then trumpets burst into the arena, signaling the approach of the hero of the locker room, Willow Nightingale. Marina stops what she's doing, and she's like, all right, let's do this shit. Because unlike Mox, Marina Shafir truly does not fear anyone. She can feel the power. Oh, she can feel the pain. She can feel through the pain. Fuck me. She can feel pain, though. Idiot. She can feel pain, though. Marina, she can feel pain, though. And Willow slams her down onto the mat hard with a pop-up powerbomb. A battle cry erupts from Willow as Marina adjusts to her new life as part of the campus. And then Willow pummels Marina with heavy fists. This ain't no match, so closed fists are fair game. Then fucking Yuta has the audacity to put his hands on the hero of the locker room's hair, which is worth more than his entire lineage. And you can see the expression on Willow's face set into a mask of destruction. By the way, Willow is in all black butt kicking gear, complemented by a grungy vibed like plaid flannel shirt tied around the waist. Marina is in traditional Marina butt kicking attire. Hair is out. She's looking fabulous. Dangerous, but fabulous. And still currently planted in the campus. Willow slaps the cheek off fucking Yuta's face and backs him off with a battle cry from the depths of her gut. She gets him in position for Babe with the power bomb. And then Marina springs to action off the mat, drags the sheriff out of the ring. And who is this? A wild Statlander is lurking in the entranceway, perhaps here to help Willow. But that's it. We don't know exactly how far she came out. We don't know if Willow saw her. Because Willow's just yelling at the Sheriff of Rottingham and Marina Shafir. I don't think she saw Statlander there. And we don't go back to Statlander either. But back on the bus, woman. Okay. Back on the bus. Think about what you've done. And we end the show with Willow and Hobbs victorious in the ring. Willow is professional wrestling, people. She is so good with everything she does. It cracks me up that some journalist sites were like, "Oh, Willow's contract is coming up." Like they have some sort of scoop. Because there ain't no way Willow's like not resigning and continuing her impressive climb up the ladder of the division, getting like to the top five in this woman's opinion. We are so lucky to have her, and this time next year, who knows what kind of Willow we will be watching. And completely just out of side news, I have this running theory that Powerhouse Hobbs is injured, so he can't be in the Anarchy in the Ring match, and we will be seeing Hook again. Watch this space. See if it happens. It is Ring of Honor time, baby! Woo! And we get to see Trish Adora and Rachel Ellering face each other for the first time on Don't Call Me Diva. Trish Adora is a tall, strong powerhouse, just like Rachel Ellering is. So this should be a tough match for both of them. Trish is in a very cool faction of STP, which is the Shane Taylor Productions, and I'm a big fan of this faction. The pew 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 pew, hoorah, rah, rah, rah. Signal the infantry from STP are here to support their battle mate. Trish Adora and them are, like I said, they are legit cool as fuck. They have so much freaking energy. Trish is in red and black battle gear, and they're them t-shirt team t-shirts. Actually, scrap that. I think it's actually more of like a two-toned orange thing on her pants than a red. And is that money in her gut about? The woman's prepared. Some drums kick in as Rachel Ellering's music hits, and she's a chatty gal as she comes down to the ring wearing black and purple gear. She is super pumped to be here. A very cordial handshake of honor is exchanged and they prepare for battle. They lock up and Trish powers Rachel to the corner. The ref tells her to get out of there and Trish gets a bit cheeky but eventually does give Ellering some space. Ellering and Trish lock up again and this time it's Rachel who powers Adora into the corner. When given space, Trish latches onto Rachel's head and squeezes it between her solid ass biceps. Trish has the upper hand on Rachel while her head is contained, but after a flurry of running ropes from the two wrestlers, Rachel shoulder barges Trish into a different hemisphere. She has no idea how she got down here, but we quickly put her on a plane back, send her back into the ring, and she instantly gets caught in a wrist lock takedown by Ellering, and Trish's face pancakes the mat. A successful drop kick to Trish gives Rachel a chance for the pin, but she is denied by two. Rachel tries to get Trish up onto her shoulders, but Trish blocks it and then gives Rachel a soul food type maneuver to her. I said fucking maneuver. Move to her armpit instead of the jaw, which is tradition. Trish gives Rachel a receipt on that wristlock takedown and with one of her own, a quick battle pose, and then it's back on the attack. Trish slams Rachel into the corner and then takes her over with an impressively quick arm drag. Trish goes for a pin, the arm strongly kicks out at two. But the person attached to the arm, Rachel, strongly kicks out at two. Trish is like, okay, and goes back to hurting on Rachel. Trish takes Ellering over and down to the mat with a beautiful fisherman suplex. Trish holds her down for the pin, but Rachel kicks out again at two. Trish Adora bangs on the mat in frustration, but gets back to work. Both wrestlers pull a standing switch, and then Ellering switches it up with some stiff back elbows and forearms. That rock Trish, and Adora decides that she has felt enough and shimmies Rachel down in a backslide, releases the hold, and then plows Ellering with a heavy lariat and a boom thing. And 1, 2, 3. Trish Adora gets the win over Rachel Ellering. Bravo, my dear. Trish Adora is half strong, adorable as spoke. Oh my God, Trisha Dora's smile is insane, and she is so cheeky. All the fucking infantry are so dangerous, but they're so cheeky. You're just like, you scamps. And she is back from injury. Yay! This makes two women from our division are back from injury. A fine yosh to you ladies. Yosh! We fade to a mad as hell Ring of Honor World Tally Champion Red Velvet. Woo. She is pissed that everyone is currently talking all about the new Pure Championship and the tournament to crown the first, and not about who will step up to her for her title. And I say it's fair. Red Velvet wants to fight, and I say give her a match on like 0 hour. I mean, you can't put everything in the main card. Athena needs to make an appearance at Double or Nothing too, Mr. TK. I don't know if you've been scrolling Instagram lately, sir, but your Ring of Honor World Champion is getting madder and madder in the shadows. And if you're not careful, she will rampage through your entire division. And then what will you do, huh? You'll just have to have her facing all these people in every single match, and it will be all your fault. Good night, Ring of Honor. You were lovely. Mwah. Woo! So that was our little rundown of what's been going on leading up to this set of Dynamite and Collision that will lead us into the pay-per-view. And as we all know, as longtime wrestling fans, the week leading up to the pay-per-view can be quite exciting in like shenanigans kind of way and like injuries kind of way and like, hey, look at me, I'm back kind of way. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what will be playing out mm, like into Double or Nothing. Oh my God. I keep thinking about wrestling and then my brain just goes "Bloop," and it's like, woman, you're recording something right here. Hello. If you're watching the video, you will get to see the glazed look in my eye. But with all this talk about champions, shall we have a little look back at the first ever Women's World Championship match on the first ever Dynamite, October 2nd, 2019? Yes, yes, I think we shall. The first design of the championship belt was in black leather with gold and nickel plates and diamonds. It was a touch small, and over time it has blossomed into the gorgeous creature that it is today. There have been 9 champions with 14 different title reigns. Timeless Tony Storm is at the top with 4. She's currently in her 4th. Hikaru Shida has 3. Britt Baker, DMD. Oh, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Excuse me, ma'am. Jamie Hayter, Mariah May, Thunder Rosa, Riho, Nyla Rose, and Saraya all have 1. Saraya's run was only 44 days, which is super bizarre because in my memory, it felt like it felt more like 4 months that she was the champion. Can't believe it was only 44 days. That's mind boggling. It's the first ever Dynamite. Now, what I have said many times about being an AEW fan is how much I've enjoyed watching the entire team improve and grow. So this will be a fun little look back at where they started. We have our traditional Dynamite opening song, which has only just changed, which I am kind of sad about. But nothing changes here, people. We will forever be shaking one's boobs after bringing said boom, for it is Dynamite. We are informed by JR, good luck with your surgery, sir, that we are in the sold out Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. And the place is a banger. It's freaking huge. Jay and Silent Bob are randomly here. Okay, I forgot about that. So, okay, the first ever match on the first ever Dynamite is Mr. Rhodes versus Mr. Sammy Guevara, which means we get a Mrs. Brandy Rhodes being a face, because remember, face with hubby, heel with outie. Brandy is in a flowy, long, split to the heavens, white gown with plunging cleavage. Both roads rise from the depths in the cloud of smoke and power pose in their spotlight. We explode half of the year's budget on fireworks and fire, and now I know why the exploding ring match was such a puff of smoke. Cody ate up all the explosion budget right here. It's quite insane. Cody Rhodes is so weird. He really is. I watched his face go through like seven different emotions in one ramp walk. I couldn't quite, I couldn't quite read it. It was like so many different things. Like he was like changing it for every different like thing he looked at. Does he do that now? I don't know. It's not necessarily like different emotions, but like seven variants of what a human face should be doing at a time like this. Cody Rhodes is an alien bug in a human flesh suit. And this sentence has no bearing on anything other than it just made me giggle. So now, and don't call me Divaville lore. Cody Rhodes is a bug alien in a human. His face really did look weird. Is this normal of Cody Rhodes, or is this just like first Dynamite? Cody Cody Rhodes springs into the ring, and oh my goodness, I just realized we are in pre-neck tattoo era. Oh my God, all of the things are being revealed to me. Brandy follows into the ring, and she is twirling in all of her princess fantasy goodness. Now, I'm not going to be one who says that I dislike Mrs. Brandy Rhodes, but I really do feel like she is someone who would be besties with Stephanie McMahon. Moving on. MJF faces Brandon Cutler. Private Party tried to public party with Jay and Silent Bob, who isn't being silent tonight, so perhaps it's Kevin Smith instead, which would explain perhaps why the Hybrid 2 are all mad at them. Maybe they were like, we thought that you were like gonna come and get high with us because you're Jay and Silent Bob, but you're actually like real and not your characters. And I don't know what was going on there, but there were shenanigans. We have ad breaks, right? Long, awkward, silent ad breaks. Oh my God, they're so awkward. It's just nothing but like crowd noises. And Justin Roberts is like making like these announcements about like saying, hey, after the taping, there's going to be some more matches. And it's like, road, but fair, but road. It was on TNT. So there would have been like ads going on. So it probably was only the Triller broadcast that had these. But as soon as they happened, I was like, oh, I remember these. I remember these awkward fucking pauses. And JR was like number one commentator. You know how they have like the main one and then they have the color one and then they have the, I don't know, sometimes they have like a third one. Well, a lot of times they have a third one, but I know you got play by play, color, and then what? Other. So Um, so yeah, so JR was mainly commentating in this, which is weird because, as we all know, Excalibur is like the number one, but yeah, so that's what was going on. Really weird. Hangman Adam Page was versing the Bastard Pack. Pac hasn't aged a fucking bit. When I saw him come out, I was like, excuse me. He physically looks exactly the same. Like just before his injury than what he did like in his first like match on Dynamite. Scary. The Doctor will see you now, and it is Dr. Britt Baker. She will be joining the commentary team for our first ever World Championship match. And she gets comfortable. Nyla Rose's music hits and the lights all go red. Nyla is wearing a gold skull jaw over her real jaw. It's like a little half mask. A red scarf covers her head. Nyla is in her OG gear, which is the black and the gold. Her wifey makes all of her outfits, which is cool. A black vest has the red handprint on the back, and the red handprint is also on the front little like skirting of her gear as well. And that, if you don't know, symbolizes the missing and murdered indigenous women in all of North America as a whole. A few nations, um, if not all of the nations, believe that the dead can actually see red. So this is why the symbol is in red, and they feel that it connects them to the family who have died. On her left gold armband, there are symbols along it, and they are the symbols of the Haudenosaunee. Oh shit! I did know how to say this, and now I've forgotten how I meant to say this. But the Confederacy is made up of 5 nations created to keep peace and unite and collectively make decisions that will benefit the whole of the five nations. So that's what those symbols along the her armband represent. As she battle poses on the entrance with her palm raised high in the air, pillars of fire erupt on either side of her. AEW has been fire from word go. Nyla gets in the ring and does her coolest ring pose, and then the lights brighten, and Riho's Energizer Bunny Nightmare Field all-nighter of an entrance music hits. Woo! The music is on speed. Riho comes out way more solemn than I remember ever seeing her. She is looking down as she walks to the entrance stage. Riho is wearing a pristine white silk looking long battle jacket that is shorter at the front, and a black ribbon is around her waist. As soon as the music kicks in, Riho completely changes, and she's now all smiles and waves for the crowd. Riho is in her white and pink marshmallow poofy battle gear, and we get an awkward moment of stalling as we go to commercial break somewhere like on TNT. It is, kind of funny, but it gives us a moment to chill. And looky here, I've just noticed that in the front there is a lime green smiley face t-shirt wearing wobbly wobbly Mark himself in his usual spot too, which is really weird seeing him on an AEW pay-per-view. Like, weird. Like, get your lime ass out of my fucking IQ. It's so fucking weird. It's like, what are you doing here? But I forgot that he did actually show up for like some AEW shows as well. How do you get like the exact same fucking like seat too? Weird. Anyway, I've talked more about him than I actually wanted to. The ad break is so long. I get like focused on this guy for like ages, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy long. Justin Roberts all of a sudden breaks the silence by announcing the match, and this is a no time limit match for the first ever women's championship. I didn't remember that at all. As soon as the bell rings, Nyla runs at Riho, but Riho just quickly sidesteps and uses her quickness kicks to get Nyla off balance and unable to get a grip on her. She just zooms around so quickly. Riho runs and jumps at Nyla and takes her down with a spinning neck scissors. The celebration she did next was unwise, but she had been going full tits, so, she deserves a slight rest. But as Riho sprints at Nyla, Nyla Rose shoulder tackles her, and Riho kaplunks to the mat. Nyla taunts Riho, then bounces off the ropes for a body splash into a pin. Riho bridges her nimble butt out of that pin, and the crowd are very impressed. Riho begins to stomp the living fraggles out of Nyla as she tries to get her to her feet, as Nyla tries to get to her feet. Riho stomps on Nyla a few more times, and Nyla crumples flat onto the canvas, belly down. Riho bounces off the ropes and double stomps on Nyla's back, but Nyla counters in an incredible way by just standing up. Riho tries to keep herself balanced, but it is impossible, and she crumbles and falls to the mat. Riho goes to the ropes in disbelief and gets a boot right in the face from Rose. It is rough. Riho's like, ow, but Nyla does not care. She turns Riho around and starts to choke her on the middle rope. rope. Nyla breaks the choke as per the ref's orders and then drags Riho to the middle of the ring and gives her a stiff kick in the back. Riho puts an STF submission on Riho and really leans into it, crushing Riho as well as choking her out. Riho pushes through the multiple sources of pain and reaches out with everything she has to grab a hold of that rope, even managing to inch a little closer until she can finally grab that bottom rope. The crowd are exuberant and clearly behind the smaller Riho. Nyla very respectfully lets go of the STF. Nyla grabs Riho and gets her up for a very delayed vertical suplex, but Riho kicks her feet like a future champion and tilts Nyla off balance enough to let go of her. Riho goes for a waist lock, which was an interesting choice, and receives a back elbow to the face from Rose. It is now Nyla with the waist lock, and she attempts to suplex Riho, but Riho blocks it. Riho tries to roll into a cradle pin, but Nyla blocks that. Riho has a quick flashback to the back elbow that she received when in this position, and she starts sending some back elbows Nyla's way, and it works a charm for about a second until Riho bounces off the ropes right into an elbow from Nyla. Every time she goes to the ropes for some sort of momentum, it's all the space that Nyla needs to just fucking whack her with an elbow, get her with a kick. It's not worth it, honey. It knocks a plan into Riho's head, though, and she follows Nyla to the other ropes and knees Rose in the face. See, here you go. Riho might be small, but she has been training in wrestling since 9. Her bones are indestructible rubber. Her muscles are made from concrete. She is a mini pain machine. Another running knee from Riho sends Nyla Rose through the ropes and down to the floor. As the crowd chant for Riho, she climbs to the top rope and then flies in a crossbody at Nyla Rose, who instead of crashing down, stands strong and catches Riho. Nyla carries Riho around for a bit and then brings Riho down to her knee for a backbreaker. The ref comes down and is like, "Excuse me, ma'am, could you please bring the violence back into the ring?" Nyla goes Geffen and starts looking under the ring for something dangerous, and she finds a steel chair. Now, this is not a DQ or hardcore or a no rules variety of match. So the ref starts pointing very sternly at Nyla, who is not listening, and swings the chair over her head to whack down onto Riho. The ref yoinks the chair out of Rose's hands, who was like, "Excuse me, you unarmed me in my match on the day of my world champion inauguration?" The ref keeps yelling. Riho is up and throws hands at Nyla, who is taken off guard at first, but then grabs Riho and sends her into the barricade hard twice. Riho sees the world championship belt and then goes looking under the ring for more steel chairs. Nyla grabs around 4 this time, and instead of counting her out, the ref is taking the trying to talk her around approach, and it's not working. Nyla will fall victim of what you build, you will take. She drags Riho and puts her on top of the pile of chairs. Nyla gets up on the apron and takes in the view for a moment and then sentons into the pile of chairs because Riho has rolled the fuck out of here, which saved her life. Nyla is broken. Riho scampers up to the apron and missiles herself down onto Nyla's abdomen with a double stomp. Rose crawls her broken self into the ring. Riho climbs up to the top rope and gives another double stomp to Riho's back. To Nyla's back. I could no. And Rose crumbles. Riho goes for a pin, but just gets a 2. You know how like when your brain just like floggles on something, but your mouth just keeps going, and all of your thoughts are just coming out in words instead, and you actually have to like physically tell yourself to like no, stop, move on. Yeah. Riho then swiftly goes for a crossface submission on Nyla, who struggles to get out of the submission until finally bucking Riho off. Nyla goes to the corner to get some stamina back, and Riho takes advantage of this by zooming at her and cracking Rose in the head with a running step up enziguri. Riho gets a bit small dog, giant stick can't get through the gate. When she tries to Northern Light suplex Nyla Rose, Nyla pounds down on Riho's back and blocks the attempt. Nyla bounces off the ropes, but this gives Riho the advantage as she glomps onto Nyla and rolls forward, bringing Rose down with her. Riho completes her victory roll double stomp, and Nyla did not expect that. Riho, come on. You're trying to Northern Light suplex Rose again? So silly, because it doesn't work again. And instead of countering with a crucifix pin, you get a nope. Nyla stops all that and drops Riho backwards in a crucifix bomb. Nyla takes a bit of time to catch her breath and then goes for the pin. This gave Riho a little bit of stamina back to kick out at 2. She should have gone for that crucifix pin if you're honest there, Riho. Nyla is stunned. The crowd are invested. Nyla picks up Riho and hangs her over the top rope for Nyla's diving guillotine leg drop. The crowd are on their feet, begging Nyla not to do what she is about to do, but Nyla has no mercy and almost decapitates Riho. Nyla Rose pins Riho, but Riho kicks out at 2. The whole arena goes nuts. Nyla instantly goes for the STF on Riho again in the middle of the ring with Nyla's full weight on her back. Riho fades and it looks like she may have just passed out. Instead of taking the choke out to win, Nyla lets go of Riho and plans to powerbomb her, but Riho was playing possum and blocks this powerbomb. Riho takes Nyla off her feet, but it drains the stamina out of her, and Riho crumbles down to a mat. Riho keeps ramping up her energy and laying in hands to Nyla, but every time Nyla stops her quickly with a boot or a lariat. Riho beautifully toe trips Nyla and rolls her up backwards in a very tight cradle for a close as fork pin. But Nyla kicks out at 2.999, which stuns everybody. Nyla quickly gets Riho, and after a brutal? Ooh, you don't need the backstory on that word. A brutal Death Valley driver, Nyla pins Riho. I absolutely thought this was it, but zombie Riho kicks out at the very last moment, and the crowd explode in cheers and chants for Riho. Riho is still down on the mat, and Nyla goes to make the most of it by climbing up the ropes. Rose looks over and is like, oh, sorry. Riho looks over and is like, oh, hell no, and gets to her feet and lays hands into Rose. Heavy hands, repeatedly. Riho has some stiff hits and they almost knock Nyla out. Off the ropes, Mighty Riho actually frickin' northern suplexes Nyla Rose off the ropes and they come crashing down to the mat. Holy flying fraggles, people. She did it. Is this the win? No. Nyla Rose kicks out at 2. Nyla doesn't get off the mat though, and Riho flies at her from multiple angles, laying in double knees to the back and to the front of her head. Will this be it? 1, 2, 3. Riho is our first ever women's champion. Woo! As Riho celebrates her win in the ring, a Michael Nakazawa appears out of nowhere with a microphone. An unoiled and fully clothed Nakazawa says he will be interviewing Riho in Japanese Nihongo. And Nyla Rose comes back into the ring and is like, no, and pushes both Nakazawa and the world champion down. Nyla Rose deadlifts Nakazawa and slams him down to the mat with a Liger Bomb. Nyla grabs Riho and looks like she's about to Death Valley driver Riho on the apron, but heartthrob to all, Kenny Omega comes racing down to ringside and saves Riho's life. He confronts Rose and tells her to stop these shenanigans. He checks on Riho and we fade to a promo of the first ever Full Gear. Wow. Now, production wise, that was great. Apart from obviously the insanely long, awkward pause between the two wrestlers getting into the ring and then them actually starting the match. It was a great length for the first match as well. It's one thing I've always appreciated with AEW, unless it was a squash match for something. Every single match has never been under like 5 minutes, which is freaking awesome. I said this like last time. If anyone company is giving you standard like under 5 minute, 4 minute matches for like your women's division, they need to do better. They need to do absolutely better, because that's some bullshit shenanigans right there. Um, we've said this before on Don't Call Me Diva, but if your wrestling company is not putting your women's talent first in 2025, you shall be left behind. We love a rhyme here on the show. So, what are your thoughts on this week's discussion, my lovelies? If you so wish, you can leave them as a comment in the appropriate sections of wherever you are. Let me know of any women's wrestlers or matches you'd like me to talk about. And if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe while you're here, I'd be very grateful. I already have a lovely little match suggestion from the wonderful Tino. Wonderful sicko Tino. He has given me the Tony Storm and La Catarina match in CMLL to look at, and I'm like, hell yeah, I've been meaning to like catch up on those for like quite some time. So that will be great. Funny like little sidebar. I think I've kind of like mentioned this before. But when like I first started like doing this show and stuff, there weren't like that much like women's like wrestling and stuff on the shows. So I was like, cool, we can like fill it up with like all this kind of things and talk about all this kind of stuff. But then they like turned the fucking table on me. Like, it's like they knew or something. And they're like, oh, honey, you think you're going to be able to talk about other things without going on for like half a day? We have like news for you. So instead of fitting like everything into like every episode, we're going to be like flipping things around, but we're going to be having some fun. It's going to be great. And I can't wait to talk about some CMLL stuff. But I think we will probably do a little bit more of that as we get close to Grand Slam Mexico, because it makes sense. And then we will get to go somewhere that I hadn't even considered, because then we'll have those collisions in Dynamite in Scotland. Don't know why I say it like that. They're going to hate me for that. Scotland and the UK. So we can have a little like, oh yeah, because we're bound to have like some local talent come up to that as well. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Waffling in my own outro. Mwah. You can find me lurking the dungeons of threads at a Bex_Bastet and under a tree at Blue Sky at Bex-Bastet. If you're on audio, if you're on the visuals, you can see everything scrolling their little happy self over here. What did you think of the new like production and everything? So cool, huh? I'm a big fan. Thank you to Shane, who is the man who brings this wonderful production to your screens. My excellent producer, editor, promoter extraordinaire. Go check out some of his work on the Ethos Network, which is, where is my, this way, just scrolling. Let's go. Can I get it on my finger? Hey, oh, 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 oh. Hey, okay, that was for me only, really. Go check out the sickosclub.com and at Sickos Club on Threads. Like I've said a million times before, you've never met a more inclusive, smart, kind, talented bunch of silly sausages until you've hooked up with the Sickos. Thanks for stopping by. Don't call me Diva. Women's wrestling rules. Don't be a dick. Chicago.